Hi you guys, my name is Oshun the Great, and welcome to my beautiful channel. Uh, I wanted to make a video. I actually seen someone make this video about I need to figure out her name, but she made 5 things to expect when traveling while black. And I feel like I should make my own version as I'm traveling as a solo black woman at this time. And I kind of wanted to express my experiences so far. Now, I'm kind of a newbie traveler, so I can't be like, oh, I'm just like a OG traveler of everything, everything black people experience or whatever. So I'm gonna label this part 1 because I've only been still within like US territory, but I'm in Hawaii right now. But as I go on with my traveling adventures in the future or whatever, obviously I'll make a more in-depth experience video, whatever, I don't know. Okay, so traveling while black. Okay, first of all, I'm just gonna freestyle this video. I did make a list, but I'm gonna freestyle it. Okay, so I feel like a lot of people get very surprised that black people travel, and it's so stupid because it's 2018 and you would think that people are more open-minded or more caught up about things, but I guess like you'll get people who feel like, and I feel this in everyone's energy all the time, they're kind of surprised that black people travel as much as we do, because unfortunately you'll get a lot of people who who don't kind of see us as equals or human beings still, so they still think in this medieval type of thinking like, oh shit, black people do this too. It's kind of like when I go to the beach and sunbathe, and people probably like, why do you need to sunbathe? It's just because I enjoy the sun. But certain things, it's like people are still ignorant to. So you'll get people who kind of like look at you crazy, or they just think very ignorant still. And that comes to number 1 is you'll get a lot of stares. Even traveling to somewhere as close to home as Hawaii, it's still places where you don't get as many black travelers. I feel like even though it's USA territory, you'll still feel like the outcast per se, because they really don't get that many black women at that. So it's like when you see, like, I still get shocked since I've been here when I see a fellow black traveler or black girl traveling. But it's like people are still ignorant, so it's still like you'll definitely get stared at, because like, for one, if you're vacationing in the same spots that, like, let's say your white counterparts or like other like Americans or whatever are traveling, I feel like they traveled to get away from certain things, and I guess when they see black people traveling, they kind of feel like, what the fuck are you doing here, kind of thing. And which is kind of like negative energy, or there's people who are judgmental just like anywhere. But there is pros to cons to traveling while black. Like, you still get subtle racism, if not blatant racism. You will get like subtle, like ignorant racism, I feel like. And some people don't touch on that in their videos. But since we, like, obviously if we're in American soil, that's still relevant. And actually, when I went on working on a ship, racism is real bad on a ship, and you think that it would be different because, oh, we're all like-minded, we're traveling, we all came here to get away from whatever we were living. But the most small-minded people I met were working on a cruise ship, and I didn't even include that in my last video, which I should have. But it was an all-American cruise ship, so maybe that's why it felt like being in the mainland still. So like, mainland's energy to me is very like aggressive racism, very tense, depending on where you're from, obviously. But me, I live in Florida, so I can feel it very strongly. When I moved to Hawaii, for this little bit of time that I've been here, and I'm thinking about moving again, this little bit of time that I've been here, you can feel that the racial tension is looser, so it gives you a little freedom to breathe. And that's crazy to say that, but I'm really expressing to you how I feel about this shit. But really, I wanted to run from the mainland initially because all the news, all the bullshit that goes on about racism on the daily basis. I just got tired of it and the tension and stuff. So I was running here basically to get away from that energy. And lo and behold, it was a little breathing room here, but you can still feel it very strongly, obviously. But again, you would get a lot of stares. You'll get people staying in hostels. Obviously, you'll get treated differently. I still feel like in hostels, you kind of get treated unfairly as far as if you want to work in one. They kind of, I feel like, prefer foreigners over a black person, to be honest. And that's just how I feel. It could be just how I'm just going with how I feel, the energy and how the treatment is different. Because if you're black, you know when you're being treated unfairly. It's not really something I can really express. I can try my best, but you know when there's something fishy going on. So it's like when you want to do a volunteer situation or like work in a hostel, you have to be concerned about like more so about freestyling. When you're freestyling as a black person, like if you want to be a hitchhiker or a volunteer person, or like you have to be more prepared that you might get shut down more so than other people. That's just how I feel. It's not to say that you shouldn't try, obviously, but that is what I've been experiencing in hostels, because I just get the energy, like people are just weird about black people still, and they're just because of ignorance. But I always be like, I'm talking so much shit, you guys, but I'm just being real. But so I love staying in hostels, but as far as trying to like work in one and be like the white counterparts or the college kids, I don't feel like we get the same privilege or as like almost as if they think that you're trying to take refuge in a hostel more so than just experience it. Like they question more so why you're there than other people traveling. Like you don't really get treated as a traveler every time. You're getting treated like, what the fuck are you doing here? Don't you have somewhere to work or be, or instead of like a vacationer, which is like crazy to me. Like we can't have the same luxuries kind of thing, or we can't be a free spirit. It's still all these labels, I feel like, that are around the black communities. But so stares, not really the same kind of treatment, but there's some people who stare at you out of sheer curiosity too. It's not always negativity. I did get someone who compared me to a celebrity one day. I still didn't look up who she was talking about, but like an African celebrity, and I looked at someone else's video and she said she gets similar treatment as being treated like a celebrity. You'll get people who look at you different simply because they just never see black people, and it's not negative, it's just more so out of admiration and curiosity. I feel like when you travel as a black woman, for example, depending on where you are, you may be over sexualized just because you are very rare. So like, for example, you might come somewhere like Hawaii or just anywhere that's like doesn't see that many black women, and because of your curves, because of how you like your sex appeal, and depending upon how you dress, like you may be deeply admired, if that makes sense. Like you might be the most wanted, or like a lot of people may want you as far as like interracial dating, things like that, because it's just like you're very rare. So people might look at you like a rarity or like a prize to be won kind of thing. That's just what I interpreted so far, especially if you're like dating on Tinder while you're traveling, stuff like that. I feel like a lot of guys, depending on where you are in general, there's a lot of guys who just want like a black girl to be there first a lot of times. So if you're not comfortable with that, obviously you could take that how you want, but that is the energy that I've got since I've been here. What else? So stairs, mostly just stairs, to be honest. Let's see. I don't believe we get the same treatment, and forgive me if I'm wrong, because I haven't been doing it a long time, so it might change in the future. But like things like workaway and wolfing, I don't feel like we get the same treatment as our white counterparts or other foreigners. But that might change depending on where I go. Who knows? But I just don't think we do get the same treatment because of the ignorance or the preconceived notions behind Black people, or like not being trustworthy, or whatever the case may be. But I do feel like people put us on the back burner for certain opportunities when it comes to traveling, freestyling. Um, see what else. But then that could be different because if I go to another country, maybe they accept Americans. Who knows? Who knows? I have to make another part two when I try to do more workaway situations. See what else. So aside from how people treat you, I mean, like, you're just gonna have like, it's all your perspective. It's all like, at the end of the day, if you want to have a good day, you have a good day. If you don't, you don't. Like, it depends on what you pay attention to and what you put your energy into. So since I've been in Hawaii, I just focus on living my best life how I want to, and like fuck what everybody else thinks. Basically, like, I basically go about my day. If I want to skate, if I want to eat somewhere, if I want to dress a certain way, you just gotta own that shit. Like, because regardless, I feel like people are gonna just be. You're just gonna get a lot of attention, and at the end of the day, you just gotta. How much you're swayed is how much you focus on other people. But if you love yourself and you have centered, grounded energy, you're not gonna give a fuck anyway, whether it's good or bad attention. You're just gonna be doing your thing, and I think that's the most important thing, is to just come somewhere and make sure you do everything that you want to do, and don't let anyone sway you because of your skin color, your gender, or anything like that. But overall, my experience traveling alone so far has been pretty good, as far as like becoming this free spirited person that I know I am, and that as far as like evolving spiritually like I wanted to, exploring has been really fun. Because right now I feel like I'm in search of my home per se, or where I want to be for a while, or my tribe per se. And I feel like this was a good foot in the door. But now it's time for me to look somewhere else. So yeah, that's my experience so far in Hawaii, traveling alone. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything, you guys. I can't really think. But yeah, I definitely. It's just like, it just sucks because it's like it is a lot of racism still, and it's like, I hate to admit that, and I want it to be more positives, but ultimately it just comes down to what you make it. Yeah, that's with anything though. So it's like, yeah. Um, yeah. So be dope, be you unapologetically. Peace.